Hello, and welcome to this Kaiser Power Ed presentation covering Kaiser Resistance Training Essentials. The Essentials presentation is an introductory look at the Kaiser platform. Let's take a look at what we'll be covering in this presentation. In the Essentials introduction, we'll be answering what is resistance training, what is the current status quo of resistance training, and what is Kaiser's pneumatic technology. We'll then move on to the Kaiser Resistance Training Platform and identify the three Kaiser Resistance Training Platforms. We'll define what is dynamic variable resistance and why it's important, and we'll also list the types of resistance curves. In the third part, we'll move on to the anatomy of the machine. We'll cover everything from the Kaiser air compressor to the Kaiser chip system. In the fourth part, we'll cover why does the type of resistance matter. We'll talk about the role of inertia, why a kilogram is not always a kilogram. We'll look into the force and muscular activation killer known as momentum. And finally, we'll investigate collateral damage to the human body. In the fifth part of the Kaiser Essentials presentation, we'll be covering the Kaiser testing protocols. These protocols and procedures will be given for strength, power, and speed. Next, we'll move on to the 5 trainable qualities. These are the 5 qualities that can be trained through resistance training. We'll also give the training themes associated with these trainable qualities. In the 7th part, we'll move on to the human body systems and adaptations. We'll cover the muscular, nervous, skeletal, and energy systems. Moving on to the 8th part of the Essentials presentation, we'll cover the research behind Kaiser Pneumatics. This will cover both acute and chronic adaptation comparisons, and then we'll discuss why this is important in the world of human performance. In the 9th part, we'll move on to market applications. We'll cover everything from health clubs to hospitality. The 10th part covers the summary of the advantages of the Kaiser pneumatic platforms. We'll cover versatility, usability, safety and education, and testing capabilities. And finally, we'll end with the commonly asked questions in the marketplace. Let's start with answering a simple question. What is resistance training? Resistance training is a category of exercise designed to promote muscular performance, consisting of movements that cause muscles to contract against an external resistance. The benefits of resistance training include increases in muscular force, power, speed, size, and endurance. Changes to these qualities are all dependent on the type of resistance utilized. What is the status quo? Well, traditionally, most resistance training protocols have used mass that includes barbells, dumbbells, and weight stack machines as the primary method to create resistance. Mass can be an efficient form of resistance when it's primarily used to train for improvements in maximum force production. We refer to this as strength, and also muscular size, which we refer to as hypertrophy. This is a result of the movement velocity being relatively slow. It is no coincidence that resistance training is often referred to as strength training. It is the inertia involved with mass-based resistance training that is the enemy of speed. Utilizing mass for speed or power improvements is simply an inefficient medium, and we have the science to prove it. So what is Kaiser's pneumatic technology? Pneumatic simply deals with the mechanical properties of compressed gases or air. In the case of the Kaiser resistance training platform, compressed air is used to create a pure form of resistance. We refer to the resistance created by compressed air as pure because Newton's laws of motion do not govern the resistance, as is the case with a mass-based resistance. In simplistic terms, pure simply refers to the fact that 10 pounds of resistance created by pneumatics is always 10 pounds, regardless of the velocity of movement. In contrast, 10 pounds of mass-based resistance varies depending on the velocity of movement. Pneumatics can be described as a low mass, low inertia form of resistance, and its impact on power and speed is far greater than mass.